Good, happy Tuesday evening, April 28th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this evening edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire. We have a little bit of everything for you in this program for everyone. So let's begin. First up, we're going to begin with the news. We're going to start off with local news first. No new COVID-19 deaths reported in New Hampshire for third day. 82 new positive cases. 3 hospitalizations announced. For the third day in a row, no new deaths linked to COVID-19 were reported Tuesday in New Hampshire. Health officials said there were 82 new positive test results reported and 3 more hospitalized cases have been identified. There have been 2,010 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire since the pandemic began. Officials said 60 people have died in the state of the coronavirus, but no new deaths have been announced since Saturday, when 7 deaths were announced. Health officials said there are 1,014 current COVID-19 cases in New Hampshire, and 106 people are hospitalized and infectious. Another 2,550 people are being monitored for possible infections. State officials have said that as testing ramps up, they expect to see the numbers of cases rise as a result. They said they are monitoring hospitalization is a better indicator of whether the virus is continuing to plateau in New Hampshire or whether it's increasing or decreasing. Current hospitalizations have hovered from 89 to 106 over the past week. Now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. There are 2,010 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,004,908 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 60 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 249 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 57,812 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire right here shows you where cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. In Hinsdale, 1 to 4 cases of COVID-19. This chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases; in the orange, new hospitalizations; and in the red are the deaths. Current cases. Total current COVID-19 cases are in the purple and orange. Current hospitalizations. Cumulative totals. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases; in the orange, total hospitalizations; in the red, deaths; in blue, recovered. This chart here shows you by age group, by sex, and risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases and percent of New Hampshire population. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, Hillary Clinton endorses Joe Biden for president in virtual town hall. She was a special guest at the town hall, focused on women and COVID-19. Hillary Clinton endorses Joe Biden. The former Secretary of State endorsed former Vice President Joe Biden when she appeared as a special guest at his virtual town hall Tuesday afternoon. Coronavirus updates. Deaths likely to continue to rise in the coming weeks, CDC says. There are now more than 57,000 deaths in the U.S. Today's biggest developments. Deaths in U.S. likely to continue to rise in the coming weeks, CDC says. Global cases surpass 3 million. U.S. cases top 1 million. The world should have listened, WHO says. NYC doctor who treated coronavirus patients dies by suicide. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into business news. Let's see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Tuesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow futures fall slightly ahead of Fed decisions. Stock futures fell slightly in overnight trading on Tuesday as investors eyed guidance from the Federal Reserve on future path of interest rates with a gradual reopening of the economy in sight. And now let's take a look at your weather and traffic. Your weather right now is cloudy, 51 degrees. And your weather for tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 32 degrees, winds light and variable. And now let's take a look at the traffic. And here's a look at your traffic right now. As you can see, your traffic in Henniker, smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Hopkinton, smooth sailing. Bow, Pembroke, and Concord, all smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Chichester, smooth sailing. Epsom, smooth sailing. Northwood, smooth sailing. Lee, smooth sailing. Durham, smooth sailing. Rochester, smooth sailing. Somersworth, smooth sailing. Dover, smooth sailing. And Portsmouth, smooth sailing. Maine, all smooth sailing. Rye, smooth sailing. Northampton, smooth sailing. Seabrook, smooth sailing. And to the border of Massachusetts. 101, all smooth sailing on 101. Manchester and Hooksett area, all smooth sailing. Manchester Airport, smooth sailing with some construction. Bedford, smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Amherst, smooth sailing. And Milford, smooth sailing. Merrimack, smooth sailing. Nashua, smooth sailing. Into the border of Massachusetts. Nashua, Milford, all smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Manchester, Derry, Windham, Salem, into the border of Massachusetts, all smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. And that is a look at your traffic this evening. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire life. Star Island will not open in 2020 amid coronavirus concerns. Island closed for day visitors, boaters, and programs postponed to 2021. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart.
One popular site not opening due to COVID-19 is Star Island. The announcement of the adjusted plan calls this an historic challenge and one that doesn't allow for large crowds to gather together at this time.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's see what's new tonight on TV. 8 p.m. on HGTV, Bacon Mansions. On Discovery Channel, The Deadliest Catch at 8 p.m. On Travel Channel, Ghost Adventures at 8 p.m. On TLC, Little People, Big World at 8 p.m. On VH1, Nick Cannon presents Wild and Out. On MTV, Teen Mom at 8 p.m. On A&E, The First 48, Catching and Killer. That's at 8 p.m. on A&E. On Waveled, the movie Flash at 8 p.m. At 8:30, Bless This Mass on ABC at 8:30 p.m. And that is a look at what's on TV tonight. And if you want to see the rest of the list, we will share the link with you, or you can just go to tvguide.com and click on New Tonight. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Basketball Diaries turns 25, on set with young heartthrobs Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg. Let's take a look.
The Basketball Diaries is 25, and of course, E.T. was on set.
Best friend, right? My boy. This is my boy. Daddy, this is my boy right here. New York is different for filming because it's completely uncontrollable. You walk down, you're trying to do a scene in the street and people won't stop yelling or screaming or chanting Marky Mark.
Leo was just 19. Mark was 22.
Call 1-900 Marky Mark. Buy some flicks, you know what I'm saying? Donate a little cash.
Wahlberg told us the gritty, true story about street kids falling into drugs and crime was similar to his real childhood.
I was good at basketball and beating people up or robbing people, but, you know, that was about it, and that's all I was really qualified to do.
But he wasn't all in on an acting career just yet.
Just because I'm doing a movie like this don't mean I'm going to try to run around in my underwear and do some Shakespeare, some hip-hop Shakespeare, nothing like that.
Some set secrets. Mark broke his shoulder while filming, and the guys had a ritual before shooting difficult scenes.
You with me here? Before we have to do the heroin scenes, me and Mark always sit there and we hyperventilate for like 2 minutes before the camera rolls. So every time we're watching dailies, you hear right before the scene goes. What do you think, Leo? I don't really care. He's a great guy. Gosh. Gee, he's great. He's cooler. No, he's the coolest. Sounds good to me, guys.
Okay, and there you go. Very cool indeed. I'll need to check that movie out. I've never seen it before. And that does it for this evening edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Thank you for watching this evening edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. I'll see you back here next time for another edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Good night and bye, everyone.